Secretary General of the Palestinian National Initiative. He joins us now also from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. Really good to have you with us, Mustafa. Can I start by getting your reaction to the Israeli assassination of al-Arouri?
Well, it's a terrible crime that Israel has committed, and it could lead to really a big explosion. This proves that Israel is maintaining and continuing what they have threatened to do, which is the policy of assassination of Palestinian leaders. And they should be condemned for doing that. And what they don't understand is that an assassination does not stop resistance. On the contrary, it makes people more adamant, more determined, and more angry. And the fact that they've done this assassination on the Lebanese land in the center of Beirut represents an insult to the Lebanese government, a violation of international law. And of course, it's a big challenge to Hezbollah. It is clear to us that the main goal of Netanyahu by committing this assassination was two things. First of all, he wants to distract the attention from the fact that his whole military operation in Gaza is failing in achieving any of the goals he has promised to achieve. He couldn't bring back the hostages safe. He could not stop the Palestinian resistance. He could not impose his occupation. And most importantly, he failed to conduct the ethnic cleansing which he aimed at and which he continues to try to do. On the other hand, I think his action in Lebanon is meant to provoke Hezbollah and provoke a reaction to widen the war. And it might have been also a planned action to stop the American decision of taking away the American aircrafts from the area and the American aircraft carriers. Netanyahu is in dire need for expanding this war and for expanding this aggression because he knows very well that once the war stops, he will lose his position as prime minister, and that means he will go to jail for the 4 cases of corruption he has. So in a way, he's conducting a policy that wants to serve his own personal interest at the expense of all the peoples in the region.
Yes, Mustafa, can I ask you now about the condemnation from the Israeli National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who's essentially criticized Washington for pushing back on this idea that the Palestinians in Gaza should be moved out of the enclave into perhaps Egypt's Sinai desert. What do you make of those comments?
It is really shocking. What Ben-Gvir is saying is not shocking because he's a fascist. And the same applies to Smotrich and all the fascist group in the Israeli government. But what is amazing and shocking to all of us is the Western countries' response. If any other country in the world dared to speak about ethnic cleansing of another people, what would be the reaction of these countries who claim that they are protecting human rights and claim that they protect civil rights and protect international law? In this case, they are openly and clearly talking about ethnic cleansing of all Palestinians from Gaza and then later from the West Bank. That's what Netanyahu declared in the very first 3 days of this aggression on Gaza. And now his ministers keep repeating that. And the reaction is nothing. In other cases, sanctions would have been imposed. So in a way, I would say that the fact that the Western governments, most Western governments, and the United States government in particular, that they are silence about what these Israeli leaders are declaring and not reacting to that is practically encouraging Israel to go more and more in the direction of fascism. And it's not just extremism, it's fascism. Fascism in every sense of the word. Such actions we never heard about since the Nazi time in Germany. So these people are encouraged by the silence of the Western governments to go further and further in their crimes against the Palestinian people, combining 3 war crimes: the war crime of genocide, the war crime of ethnic cleansing, and the war crime of collective punishment.
Yes. Okay, Mustafa Barghouti, really appreciate your analysis as always. Thank you.